Welcome everyone back to the Twisted Hazel. Today I'm going to review my latest denim jacket. Actually, it's only the second denim jacket that I've ever owned. This was given to me as a gift for my birthday from my wife and children. And it is from the Bronson Manufacturing Co. They're a Chinese brand that do a lot of reproduction pieces, a lot of heritage style pieces based on American heritage wear. This particular one is their, it's called their Lot 807XX 1954 Type 2 Selvedge denim jacket. Very big name, but essentially it is just a regular Type 2 denim jacket. If you're unaware, there's three main types of denim jackets they're based around what Levi's brought out around the time of sort of World War II, around the 1940s. You had your Type 1, which was very similar to the Type 2, but it only had one pocket, and there's a couple other details which I'll show you shortly. You had the Type 2, which came out after World War II. This one is based on the ones that were modified and brought out around 1950 to 1954. And then you go into your Type 3, which is your most common ones that you see. All your denim jackets that you see in the stores these days are generally based on the Type 3 jackets. I'll show you a video of my wife's. I don't actually have a Type 3 jacket at the moment. I'll show you my wife's just so you've got a bit of a comparison. So the Type 2 jacket, it is very much a reproduction. So you can find a lot of different types of Type 2 jackets or jackets that are based around the Type 2 design. But because it's a reproduction, there are certain things that you don't have. So for example, you don't have any hand warmer pockets on this. The only pockets are the two front pockets. Being a Type 2 jacket as well, on the back you've got the cinch buttons, and that pretty much stays the same through to the Type 3s, and some Type 3s don't even have the cinch buttons anymore. The Type 1 didn't have the cinch buttons. The Type 1 basically had like a cinch buckle that ran across the back. So that was one of the obvious design changes when they went into the Type 2. But anyway, with this particular piece, it is a Selvedge denim jacket. And as you can see, there's the Selvedge ID there. So it is reproduced as it would have been reproduced back in the day on antique shuttle looms. And it's a very good quality. The price of this, I think the recommended retail is something about 240 Australian dollars, something like that. But you can certainly get it a lot cheaper than that. I think I had a look at it just today, and I think you can get it for around about $170 online. If you go direct through their website, though, they do have it on full price because Bronson do have their own international website, but you can get them through AliExpress as well, and they're a lot cheaper on AliExpress because there's a lot of secondary sellers. So we'll go through the details on the denim jacket. It's made with the steel buttons, so they're not copper coated. They are steel buttons like they would have been back in the day. You've got both the bar tacking, which goes across the pleats, and the pleats, it's quite a boxy design, and the pleats is quite good, especially for someone like me who has a little bit of a dad bod. It helps sort of cover up a little bit of a tummy or a paunch a little bit. It's not as it's a much boxier fit, so it doesn't have the slim fitting that the Type 3 tends to have. So it sits much looser. and which is also very much part of the Type 2 design and very much part of the Type 1 design. The other thing about a Type 2 is it is longer as well than the Type 1. The Type 1 was a bit shorter, and this the Type 2 is a little bit longer. They've also got a actual proper full grain leather patch, which is really nice. The Levi's over time actually changed from the leather patch to a paper patch, but it's nice. I actually really like having a leather patch, and it's a really good quality leather patch as well. Sometimes they're quite cheap, or they're fake leather and stuff, but this is an actual proper leather patch. It's got the contrast stitching, which is very nice as well. I believe I don't know for certain, but I believe it's poly cotton, so it's not 100% cotton, which some people are like, oh, well, it's not, a proper reproduction, but I actually think it's better having poly cotton simply because it's stronger and it doesn't wear out. And especially if you're wearing it a lot and you're trying to get nice fades into it, if it's cotton threads, they can wear out faster than you can get your fades and your wear in on the actual denim. It's also an unsanforized denim, which basically means it hasn't been heat treated and it is shrink to fit. So when you wash this, or when you do it or when you soak it, it will shrink probably 8 to 10%. I have given this one soak already. I'll show you a couple of videos, and you can probably see here that this is what it looked like before, because it was quite large on me when I first got it. It looked very big and very baggy, and I could wear it and there was nothing wrong with it, but it certainly wasn't the best fit. It was quite large on me, which worried me at first, even though I knew that it was meant to be shrink to fit. But here it is again after I have given it one soak. I basically soaked it for half an hour in the hottest water that would come out of my tap, and it certainly has shrunk a significant amount, which is, and it fits me much better. It's probably a little bit looser than I was than I probably ultimately would like it. So in time, I'll probably give it maybe a hot wash to try and just get it to shrink just that little bit more. But it's actually quite good for winter because I can actually wear it underneath I can wear it over the top of jumpers and things like that. So it actually fits, it's quite good for winter. But yeah, I think ultimately I do want it a little bit smaller, a little bit slimmer. So I think we'll get there with the next wash. The one thing I have found, and this is probably just due to my own sizing. I am a shorter guy. I'm only 5'8". I'm about 180 kilograms. Is that the sleeves are a little bit long on me even after it has shrunk. I've been turning them up because of that, and it fits me fine. I think it looks great. And I actually quite like, I mean, it would be nice to be able to show off the button, but I actually quite like showing off the chain stitching underneath the sleeves. So the chain stitching is over all of so once again, the heritage detail again of the chain stitching, and their stitching is done once again on all old sewing machines. So that gives you the detail, the heritage detail again. Like I said, it's a Selvedge denim. It's a 14 ounce, so it's mid-weight. It's not too heavy. I think it's a great weight for this type of denim. And it is a raw denim jacket, so it was a bit stiff the denim was a bit stiff when I first got it. After the first soak, it certainly has softened up. It didn't lose too much of its indigo, so it is indigo dyed, as most denim jackets are, but it didn't lose a huge amount of indigo, which is quite nice. It's not really a slubby denim. Like there's Yeah, I wouldn't even really say like it's you know, there's a few inconsistencies when you look at the weft side, but I wouldn't really call it a slubby denim. There is a little bit of texture in it, but it's still quite smooth. There is a tiny little bit of nepp in it, so there's a few little neppy bits here and there, but once again, it's very, very minimal. So if you're looking for something that's a bit more textured, a bit more neppy, or a bit more slubby with a bit more texture in the fabric, it's probably not what you're after, just because, like I said, it's a much smoother, but it's nice all the same. It's because the thing I do really like about the denim is that because it is unsanforized, basically the sanforization process tends to smooth out, and it basically flattens and almost sears off and makes the denim almost perfect. It's really hard to see in this, and hopefully I can get some video footage of it to show you, but it has almost the tiniest little bit of sort of fuzziness on it, because with raw denim, if it's unsanforized, there's like the tiny little cotton hairs are all sort of like cause almost like a sort of a really fine sort of fluffy, almost fluffy sort of texture to the top of it, and it's not something you notice unless you sort of look or feel really closely, and I actually quite like that. Once again, it is something that would have been very authentic and back at the time, because the sanforization process wasn't, I'm not sure exactly when it came in, but even if it had come in by, you know, the 1950s, it was not a very common process at the time. So but I actually quite like that sort of soft fuzziness. It almost adds to the warmth and the comfort of the jacket itself. So all in all, I'm actually very happy with this denim jacket. Like I said, I got it for my birthday a couple of months ago. I've been wearing it around a bit. It's got almost no fades on it as yet, because denim jackets take a bit longer to get your fades in, and you have to wear them a lot, and unfortunately don't really have what I need to, or I don't really have a need to be wearing it every single day, but I do really like it. It's very well made, and for the price, it's an absolute bargain. I would say if you're comparing it to, you know, your Japanese made denim jackets, your Samurais and your TCBs, they're very, you know, I would say, you know, if you look at if you want to go into the finest details, then you're going to find a difference, but you're also paying a significant price difference as well. I mean, you're comparing something like this jacket here, which I said was about $160, $170, compared to a Japanese made product of the same type. You're looking at upwards of $500. So for the price difference, I think it is an absolute bargain. The one thing I will mention that I was a little bit, that I did notice, and it's not a real bugbear, but it's the one thing that I think I did know, that I will make note of, is you'll see on the buttonholes, the finishing on the buttonholes have been finished fine, like the stitching and everything on them's absolutely fine. But the threads, when you basically make the buttonhole, then obviously there's like threads that then pop out where you've cut through and then stitched over. And all those little loose threads were still on there. So I've gone through and I've actually trimmed them off myself, which is no big deal. And some people, look, I would assume probably back in the day when, you know, these things were being mass produced in the 1950s, they probably didn't worry about that even back then. And yeah, so you can see on that one there how the threads are hanging out. So it's an easy thing, you just to trim those off, but it's those little finishing details I think that you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, on a much more expensive jacket. But like I said, saving yourself, you know, $200-300, that's something I think I can live with, just having to trim off those few little threads. So anyway, that's the Bronson Type 2 denim jacket. I'll keep you updated. I mean, it might be a couple of years before I start getting the fades in, but I'll start showing. I'll try to keep you updated on how it looks. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching. Stay in touch. If you've got any comments or questions, please comment below. We'd love to be in contact with people. And if you do like this video, please subscribe and like the video. We would absolutely love to spread out this channel and pass on more information of well-made heritage style products. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.